Gaming in 2024 has been ridiculous for all of the wrong reasons. The industry has become a cesspool of microtransactions, pay-to-win schemes, where games feel more like digital storefronts than actual entertainment. Developers seem more focused on pumping out rushed, bug-ridden titles that require endless updates, rather than delivering polished experiences from the start, and the push for hyper-realistic graphics has come at the expense of originality, with most games feeling like stagnant, soulless copies of each other, with no one being prepared to take any risks. All of this is without even commenting on PlayStation wasting over $100 million on Concord, yet swiftly cancelling days after its release due to a lack of consumer interest. The field of video gaming is becoming a joke, but at least one industry veteran working on the inside seems to be speaking up regarding all of this modern nonsense. I am of course talking about the controversial and enigmatic Katsuhiro Harada, the longtime director and producer of the Tekken series. So with that out of the way, join me today as we discuss this interesting character and his bleak outlook regarding the state of gaming. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. This is why the based Tekken 8 director is roasting the game industry. Yeah. Katsuhiro Harada, the legendary contributor to the legacy of the Tekken series, is known for his candid and bold personality. He has built a reputation not just for his contributions to the franchise, but also for his frankness, especially in interviews and social media interactions. Harada is often blunt and straightforward, unafraid to express his opinions or address controversial topics. Rather than existing as a moralist corporate mouthpiece, like many in AAA gaming, Harada's no-nonsense attitude sets him apart from many industry figures, who often take more PR-friendly approaches, making Harada a refreshing and authentic voice in the gaming world. A rarity for sure in a space full of money-orientated sellouts. What comes across as really likeable about this guy is that despite his bluntness, Harada has an endearing playful side, which is often picked up on due to his sense of humour, with him often engaging in sarcasm and trolling, particularly with fans on platforms like X. Essentially, he is just like me, just not quite as handsome. Due to gamers always demanding things from developers, one of his most famous phrases, for example, is "Don't ask me for shit," which has become a meme within the Tekken community, demonstrating that he enjoys playing with and teasing the fanbase. His ability to joke around while remaining professional has made him a beloved figure among gamers, which is why when he has something to say, you know there is a lot more truth and heart behind it than when certain shills open their mouths. Speaking of shilling, this provides me with the perfect opportunity for me to let you know that I can get you Tekken 8 for a ludicrously low price. If you are yet to try this one out, use my affiliate link to get a massive 50% off the game. What's even better is that using my same link via the pinned comment, I can get you up to 90% off of thousands of other AAA, indie, retro and modding games too. Feel free to treat yourself to as many games as you like. Just don't ask me for shit, or Harada for that matter either. Another key aspect of Harada's personality, which helps him to be looked at so fondly, is his engagement with the Tekken community. While he may come off as tough, he listens closely to fan feedback and often communicates directly with players. Harada enjoys interacting with the community, hosting events and live streams to connect with players on a personal level. His genuine care for fans, combined with his willingness to be transparent and involved, makes him a compelling voice that, in my opinion, is often very worth listening to. A recent series of tweets from Harada has seen this creative venting over on X, with him voicing his frustrations over the current state of the game industry. In his first tweet before moaning, he uses parenthesis to assure readers that what he is annoyed with has nothing to do with Tekken, insinuating that the problem is broader than that. He states, "I love the video game industry. I don't think there is a better calling, and I consider myself to be an ever positive person. But, being in this industry for so long, or perhaps because I've been in it for so long, I have also witnessed moments when the dream gaming world and the ideals I was in crumbled. Only in such moments do I get a glimpse of why the movie Joker was a huge hit, despite the controversy. You just ask the same questions every week. How's your job? Are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts. I realise that I have moments like that when I've lived long enough. In regards to how relating to the Joker relates to working in the game industry is obviously open to a great deal of interpretation, but one thing is for sure, most who start work in the industry, much like the Joker in his beginnings, crave acceptance and recognition. It's natural human behaviour after all. Many of us want to be seen and understood by society, seeking validation. The Joker and most of us to some degree want to be admired and appreciated. Just like Joker in the movie, many who currently work in the gaming industry due to the state of things at present likely feel like their lives are continuing to spiral out of control, with both the Joker and those who work on the inside currently face rejection, humiliation and systemic failure. It's no wonder that so many instead turn to seeking control and power over their own lives, especially as senses of purpose change from wanting to fit in to just accepting yourself as an outcast. You can see why, with the industry being in the state it is currently in, why people like Harada might have a small part somewhere inside them which would make them feel like by this point they just want to challenge and disrupt the existing order, burning it all down to the ground. It's understandable why anyone working in such a field may feel a sense of fatigue and monotony. When is enough enough? What are our limits? The state of gaming is unarguably in a pretty odd place at present, with one ex-user asking the Tekken man if he believes there is a way to bring the gaming industry back to its glory days. In his usual candid fashion, Harada responds by stating it depends on whether there is a return to the starting point of investment in possibilities and dreams, rather than return on investment. Our industry, all involved, has become too focused on stable business. For example, Nintendo and PlayStation's godfather, Mr. Kutaragi, and Yu Suzuki of Sega invested more in the challenge of dreams and ideals than in the stability of their businesses and titles. Personally, I think Harada hits the nail on the head with this one. We really do live in a world where the big companies are investing in insane amounts of money into the safest ideas possible, while sounding like the best option to take. Projects like Concord and before that, the Suicide Squad game, are regularly proving that not only are such approaches creatively bankrupt, but they can become financial disasters. The current state of things really is quite sad to see for those who can remember how innovative things used to be. The current focus on safe ideas automatically limits innovation and creativity. By sticking to proven models, the pursuit of novel or groundbreaking opportunities in AAA gaming feels almost non-existent today. Many successful businesses such as Apple, Tesla and Netflix emerged by disrupting their industries. A risk-averse mindset like the game industry currently has resulted in the larger companies failing to explore potentially disruptive opportunities, limiting potential for long-term growth. With these companies consistently pushing familiar products, consumers have become bored, and yet the market continues to become crowded with similar dull offerings. So-called safe bets at present are increasingly becoming exposed as non-safe bets, as we increasingly show our disinterest in what is being offered. While it's understandable that large companies want to balance risk and reward, the overcommitment to safe ideas is ultimately limiting the game industry's ability to innovate and grow at present. Contrasting the stagnant return on investment mindset with individuals' achievements who were focused on dreams and ideals, who Harada mentioned, is like night and day. Take Ken Kutaragi for example. Ken Kutaragi's involvement with Nintendo began when he worked on a project to develop a sound chip for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. While employed at Sony, Kutaragi secretly took on the task of creating a high-quality sound processor for Nintendo's upcoming console. His work resulted in the SPC 700 sound chip, which significantly enhanced the audio experience in Super Nintendo games. However, this partnership with Nintendo almost ended Kutaragi's career at Sony, as the company wasn't initially interested in the gaming industry. It was only Kutaragi's persistence and belief in the potential of video games that allowed the partnership to continue, though it eventually dissolved when Nintendo backed out of a deal with Sony to develop a CD-based add-on for the Super Nintendo. But this failure and lack of return on investment merely set the stage for Kutaragi's next major move. After Nintendo rejected Sony's CD add-on project, Kutaragi convinced Sony executives to take a leap into the video game industry on their own terms, leading to the creation of the PlayStation. Kutaragi's vision for the PlayStation was not just a business venture, but a realization of his dream to create cutting-edge technology that could offer immersive gaming experiences. His ideals centered around pushing the boundaries of entertainment through powerful hardware and innovative design. This dream-driven approach is what allowed Kutaragi to create something groundbreaking. He envisioned gaming as a medium that could offer even more than it had done previously. His work at Sony and the success of the PlayStation was rooted in the belief that technology, when coupled with creativity, could redefine how people experienced entertainment. And none of this genius would be possible if we were all concerned about return on investment and nothing more. Perhaps even more interesting is the story of the other gentleman he mentioned, Yu Suzuki. Yu Suzuki's contributions to the video game industry were driven by a combination of technical innovation and a desire to push the boundaries of player experience. Starting his career at Sega in the early 1980s, Suzuki was instrumental in creating arcade games that set new standards in realism and immersion. He worked on Outrun, Hang On and Afterburner, demonstrating his focus on blending cutting-edge technology with gameplay that felt natural and exciting. Suzuki was a pioneer and one of the first developers to incorporate 3D graphics into arcade games, making use of advanced hardware to simulate realistic movement and depth, giving players a sense of being part of a living, dynamic world. One of Suzuki's most ambitious projects, Shenmue, was directly inspired by his ideals of creating games that transcended simple entertainment. Shenmue was a bold attempt to craft an open-world environment that mimicked real life, complete with weather patterns, day-night cycles, and detailed interactions with non-playable characters. This insanely was the most expensive game ever developed at the time, and even more crazily, due to its experimental nature, it was far from a safe investment, but it pushed the medium forward in a number of extremely important ways. To this day, it is still one of my most immersive video games I've ever played, and I played it in the year 2000. Suzuki envisioned video games not just as a form of amusement, but as a way to explore complex emotions and experiences. He wanted players to feel connected to the world they inhabited, treating the game not just as a challenge to be overcome, but as a journey where they could explore at their own pace. Much of what Yu Suzuki did was guided by his dreams of what video games could become, not what they were at the time yet. He was driven by the ideal that video games could be more than just a linear experience that could evoke emotions and foster exploration. Suzuki often spoke about his dream of bridging the gap between the virtual and real world, and this vision influenced everything from the realistic physics in Virtua Fighter to the immersive lifelike world of Shenmue. Suzuki's work was built on the belief that video games could serve as a legitimate form of art and interaction, opening doors to new possibilities for storytelling, emotional engagement and player freedom. Through such innovation, Suzuki sought to transform games into a medium that could convey deep experiences and aspirations, reflecting the dreams and ideals that guided his career. Amongst creatives in the industry, there has to be still a huge amount of dreamers and idealists amongst them. However, in a modern world where brands like PlayStation are throwing over $100 million at a lame 5 versus 5 person shooter that was not good enough to get off the ground, what hope have we got of more Yu Suzukis and Ken Kutaragis pushing the industry forward in the future? As far as AAA goes, I'll be honest, as far as the investment in possibilities and dreams happening, I can't ever see that happening again, as the industry is overly obsessed with returns on investment and creating stable business, making it unlikely we are going to see any creative innovation anytime soon. Those days sadly seem to be over. On the more positive side though, I do not think that investment in possibilities and dreams is truly dead in gaming altogether though. However, from what I can see, most of the innovation and experimentation that's taking place is taking place in the indie gaming world these days. I truly think for the best chances of innovation taking place in the industry going forward, it will most likely unravel with indie developers discovering new concepts that work with the AAA industry then adopting such features and implementing them in a bigger budget way into their own titles. Let's face it, as much as it pains me we are unlikely to be getting any more Shenmues, in my opinion at least, Harada is fully justified to feel the way he feels, and you should feel depressed about the future of AAA games too. Thankfully, thousands upon thousands of great titles have been developed in our past, which you can get for up to 90% off using my affiliate link. My instant gaming link gets you so much for so cheap, including the extremely cursed Shenmue 3 for only $1.68. Treat yourself to a shopping list of bargains and support my work simultaneously. Just don't ask me for Cheerio.